Yes, am I?
Amazing audience, we are live now with Sir Earl Toon. Sir Earl, pleasure to meet you, my friend.
My pleasure meeting you, Angel.
Tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Well, I think because of some of the friends we know, I've been truly, and first I make a statement, I'm not a religious fanatic, but every day I wake up is by the grace of God and the prayers and well wishes of others. But I'm into music, and I've done many songs, but one song in particular you may have heard of when you hear people go, Yahoo! Celebrate, good times, come on.
Oh,
We're going to celebrate your party with your celebration. I'm from the old school band Kool and the Gang.
Wow.
And we've done songs like Ladies Night, Get Down on It, Too Hard, Cherish. I can go on.
Amanda starts the bongs.
Yeah. So the thing is that I've been truly blessed to be able to give the world something not only to dance to, but to celebrate to. And be it that it's the birthday or be it that it's a graduation. It's all a celebration. You understand? It's all a celebration to be married to. Anything that you can celebrate is by that grace of God, by that love. You
That's
know?
powerful. So who did you learn that skill from, that skill of appreciation? Because to celebrate, one must appreciate. Yeah?
You know what? That's true. And it's interesting that you would ask that because only a few know. And no, maybe a little bit more than a few because those, and it's going to be in my memoirs too, is that it was because the rain woke me up one morning. Outside of the teachings of my grandma, my mom died when I was 4 years old. And my grandmother raised myself and my sister Tanya, my sister Contessa, and my brother Cedric. And she was a wonderful woman. Anyone that knew her loved her. But what really got me was that I left home early because I needed to do something I didn't know what I wanted to do, and through music. And they were very, very religious. They still are. My father's a Reverend Earl Toon, and my uncles are bishops, and aunties are evangelists and preachers and reverends and stuff. So I guess in a way I was a little heathen, if you want to say. But to answer your question, I was in Brooklyn, New York, and one morning the rain woke me up one morning. And by that I mean that I was sleeping on a park bench with newspaper over me. And it started to rain. And in that rain it startled me, and I woke up and I didn't know where the rain began and my tears ended, or where my tears began and the rain ended. So I know what it is about a celebration. That's the reason why I could write Yahoo, celebrate good times, come on. We're going to celebrate your party with you. Celebration, because whatever that party is, it's got to be because of the love of God.
That's amazing.
And the prayers and well wishes of others. Yeah.
Wow. That is fascinating. It's amazing because I was talking to Angel before, and I was telling him that he said to me that questions are powerful, and it's the questions I asked that are powerful. And I told him, yes, I agree, but definitely the person that is asking the question carries a strength because of the life the person has lived. And I believe the song you sing as well carries a strength, the song you write, because of the life you lived. And you've just confirmed that.
Well, you know what? I tell you, there's a lot of times if it was left up to me to do anything, I would probably mess it up. But that's when I speak of that love, that is bigger than me. I'm the only protege of a gentleman by the name of Otis Blackwell. You probably never heard of his name, but I want you to know, and I want your audience to know, Otis Blackwell in the times of the 50s and 60s when men of color in America couldn't drink out of the same water fountain or share the same restaurant or be able to stay at the same hotels. You understand? It couldn't. It was unheard of. It was unthinkable. But this man of color, Afro-American man, a black man from Brooklyn, New York, wrote songs like Don't Be Cruel, All Shook Up, Return to Sender, Breakfast for Elvis Presley. He wrote Fever When You Hold Me Tight for Peggy Lee, Great Balls of Fire for Jerry Lee Lewis, Handyman, Pat Boone, and James Taylor. I mean, and I'm his only protege as a writer, and I've written here now over 70 songs that even BMI, ASCAP, CSEC, Warner Brothers, his estate no one even knows of or heard of, and he's been gone. But remember, that was at a time that a black man and Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, got together, and through music, the world was dancing.
Wow.
And the Colonel was smart, so when you see written by Elvis Presley and Otis Blackwell, Elvis didn't write a word or a melody, but his manager knew that I have to have my boy's name on it. And Otis didn't care, he just wanted the songs to be out there.
Yeah.
And the Colonel most definitely wanted his share as a manager.
Of course.
So that's how that happened. So it was a business arrangement, but nonetheless it was a great arrangement because what it showed that a man of color, a black man, and a white man could work together in the times that you couldn't even drink out of the same water fountain and you were dancing to the music.
That's powerful.
That even most black folks were saying, that Elvis got some black in him somewhere. He got some, not knowing that, you know what, he did. He most definitely did.
That's amazing.
But that's what we can do together.
Yes.
That's why united we stand, divided we fall. That's why in the days and times right now that they speak about division, no, I'm about diversity and inclusion. And that's what I do also with the America's Chamber for Business. We are about bringing people together, regardless of what walks of life. I don't care how black, how white, how Asian, how Hispanic, Latino. I don't care where you come from, what country. I don't care what religion, Catholic, Muslim. We can go on and on. Christian, I don't care. Republican, Democrat, left wing, straight or gay. You being on this planet, we all should be good servants and good stewards. First of all, for the planet and each other.
Where can people connect with you? Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
You know, right now, it's so funny because there's certain regimes that have moved out the way, but if they go to SirEarlToon.com, they're working on the website to rebuild it and be taking it out the hands of certain other people because they weren't truly about that.
Sure.
See, because understand something again. If we were to love and honor each other as we would do ourselves and our families, our loved ones, and have more forgiveness in our hearts, and I know it's hard, but when people say they want to follow whatever leader, if you're Buddhist, it makes no difference. If you're Hindu, if you're Christian and you love Jesus, then respectfully, then you got to love more than yourself. You got to be more forgiving, because when he said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do, there's a lot of us, including myself, that at times I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if I make a mistake, and if I can find myself to better that and to be able to do unto you like I would want it to happen, give me a chance. Now, of course, there's some people that you feel that you can't help. Well, grandma would say, you feed them with a long-handled spoon.
What does that mean?
That means that you keep them, you'll be able to still be able to feed them, but a long-handled spoon that they won't get close to you to hurt or harm you. You're still showing compassion.
I love that. Tell me one other thing, my friend, you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Give all that I can to others.
How does that make you feel?
Matter of fact, it's a selfish act. And what I mean by that, it may sound negative to some for me to make that remark. The reason why it's a selfish act to me is because I feel so good being able to help others. I feel so good to be able to help a child, to help an elder. I feel so good to be able to help a veteran, a homeless person. It makes me feel good and that I can help a battered woman, a bullied kid, a special need kid, the animals, the planet. It does something for me to be able to do that. And so it's not, even when I'm in need, the reason why I know that I can still, and the reason why I am still on my journey is because of that love given back to me. And those people that I help, even if it's just their prayers and well wishes. By the way, you said that I'm a wealthy man, right?
Yeah.
A man that you and I both know, and I don't know how well you know him, but others know him in many different countries for many different reasons that he has extended himself, his expertise and his genius, would come and pick me up personally and say that I want you to speak with this man.
Yeah.
I said, he said, don't worry, just come, and not giving me any information really, but just be there. And I'm like, I got things that I'm do, but I love you. I can't even say no. I can't say, I'm not going to say no to you. So that, and you know why I can't? Because I do know that he knows how much I love others, and there's been many times he has helped me to love them.
I love that. I love that. Let's switch gears, my friend. Let me invite you now into my time machine.
Please.
That is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Sort of a sad one. I was standing on the back seat of a car that was leaving a house, and the house was getting smaller and smaller, and my uncle, we call Unc, said, leave that boy alone, because my aunt Lil called me, Junior, sit down, because we don't want you to fall. And he said, Lil, leave that boy alone, let him stand there, because the house in which I was leaving was where my mother's casket was, that people were coming to see her for the last time. And I realized that at that time, that when she told me she was going on a trip, but she would always be with me, but I wouldn't see her no more, but she loved me, I realized then at 4 years old that I wouldn't see my mother again.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
Because she was my best friend. She was my mother, more than anything. She was the closest thing then to God.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
She would always speak, and I would always see her giving and sharing.
That's amazing.
And caring for others. I would always see, one morning I saw her when I woke up, she was carrying my brother, Cedric. They told her she could live longer if she didn't have the baby, and the window, the shears were blowing, and the moonlight was coming in. It was on Ralph Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And she was rubbing her stomach, and she was talking to someone. And I'm looking as a kid. She didn't see me because it was dark. I was trying to figure out who she was talking to. And there were diamonds bouncing off her cheeks. The diamonds was the tears that she cried. And because of the sunlight, they looked like they were me as a kid. It looked like there were diamonds, crystals coming from her cheeks. And when she saw me with that beautiful smile, she said, "What are you doing up?" And I looked at her and I started crying, because she says, "Don't worry." She says, and I was looking around like, "Who are you talking to?" And she says, "I was praying. I was asking God to always protect you."
Wow.
And always to know that, and to protect and to protect the baby and such. And she told me to go back to bed, not to worry. And I didn't want to go. She told me, but her voice was so soothing. She says, "Believe me," she says, "I'm just talking to the Lord, I'm talking to God, and all is going to be fine." And she kept walking around. She got me to bed. And I remember that like it was yesterday, because she was the closest thing to me.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please.
I love the concept of you having to go away from the thing you love and fall to become more. So even in the car, right? You were driving away, and your unc said, "Leave that boy." I also love the connection of the song "Celebrate," right? Coming from that same rain that fell on you in the park, and the glistening, right? That you said happened with your mother's tears.
Yes, her tears. They look like diamonds.
And you said, I just love how that connects as well, as you being a child, but then you going through the fall, the literal fall of sleeping on that bench.
Yes.
But those, metaphorically speaking, those tears, the rain, being that synchronicity of you creating that song thereafter is fascinating to me.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. I always, even at times when I feel that I'm not thinking of her, and times that I'm not, I know that she's with me and comforting me. There's times I know that I could not have been here, but some sort of way with the angels, she interceded with God to say, have mercy. And that's the reason why I can speak to you right now.
I love it. All right. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Woo! When I was 12, it was either something by Sam Cooke or The Temptations.
What song comes to mind?
Because my father and Sam were friends. It was, and James Brown, The Temptations, all these guys that I met that knew my dad and my family. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, come on, tell me the name of one song. Come
one
on.
song, Sam Cooke. We're having a party, or
All right.
another Saturday night and I ain't got nobody.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna see.
Well, I can see it connecting. We're having a party.
Yeah, we're having a
Celebrate,
party.
yeah.
Yes. I never had a girl could make me feel the way that you do. It's alright.
I love
With
it.
Temptations, yeah. But it all goes back even when I was a kid too. When my first song was, "Yes, Jesus Loves Me," for the Bible tells me so, and I didn't know how to sing it. My auntie said, "I know you can do this," and so she told me the words, but I forgot the words, and I was so nervous. And she was whispering to me, and I sung it differently. It was like, well, I'm not in singing voice right now, but it was something like, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tell me so, and the two ones to him belong, they are weak, but he is strong. She said, yes, Jesus loves me. Say yes, Jesus loves me. Oh. She said, yes. Oh, yes, Jesus loves me. She said, I said, telling the world, can I say, yes, Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. Says yes or no. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I haven't chosen someone yet.
Are you married?
No, I've never been married. I don't have any children. I have
All right.
a significant other, but I haven't been blessed with that.
Do you believe in God?
Oh, most definitely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Do I have a?
Inner circle of friends.
Yes, like Michael.
Like Michael?
Yeah,
Do you watch
yeah.
TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, most time it watches me. At times I have it on
Background.
because for some strange reason I get something out of not, and I do know I love the stillness, the silence, the sound of silence.
Yeah.
But there are times that I need, depending on what I'm working on, it just captures something for me and it gets me going. Yeah.
How about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, less than 1 hour.
That's good.
Less than, matter of fact, sometimes it's 1 hour a week.
Yeah, well,
you
that's
understand?
good.
Believe me.
That's good. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
We must do more for others
Love it.
than we do ourselves.
I love it. My friend, this is a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
What I would ask of you all, in your communities, wherever you are, if directly, indirectly, exclusively or non-exclusively, if there's any way you can help our children and our elders, because hopefully, be it that you're a young man or woman in your 20s, and 40 years, 60 years, in your 40s and 20 years, and you will be an elder. And I would think that you would want someone to honor you and help support you in ways that you can now support them. And not only those homeless, There are a lot of homeless people that lost their way, not because they're bad people, because circumstances that have come in their lives. And believe it or not, and the veterans that have fought in wars, right or wrong or indifferent or whatever you feel. But whenever we can help one another, regardless of where you are representing the Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, regardless of what religion, regardless of where you come from, regardless of how black, how Anglo, how Latino, Hispanic, how Asian, understand something. You're on a planet that we only know of one, that we call home. Let's love it as family, as familiar. And I promise you that the best not only is yet to come, the best is already here, because when you woke up this morning, that was truly a gift from God, which was time. And the time that He has given you, that's what we're doing right now. We're sharing each other's gifts. We have each other's time. I'm Sir Earl Toon for YMO Enterprises, and for you. And I thank you in being a part of this wonderful community here. God bless you.
Love it. Yeah, Sir Earl Toon, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Did you have fun?
Oh.
High five me.
Awesome.
Boom.
Awesome. Awesome.